Welcome to the Something Good podcast, hosted by Renee Mueller, powered by Verly. This is where we interview top business professionals, industry insiders, operational managers, and thought leaders from around the nation, diving into hot current topics to help you experience something good.
Today we have with us Darlene Siepel, top agent in Columbus. Dar.
I have to be one of.
Well, we're all top agents here at KW Elite, right?
Right.
Right. So how long have you been licensed?
3 years.
Seems like 30.
It does.
We just threw you right in. So I think you've been by my side. We talked earlier for about
2007.
Okay. Gosh, that seems like forever ago.
Yeah, it does. I suppose the new word would be transaction coordinator, but I started out as a secretary and
The new
did some
word.
of that stuff.
The new buzzword.
Yeah, the new buzzword.
Yeah, you did the books, you did the payroll, you did everything. So you
Right.
were kind of Melinda and the transaction coordinator and everybody all in one, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Put the listings on and
Oh, yeah, you did all the
the
input.
newspaper ads and et cetera.
Newspaper ads.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And the booklet that we had.
Yep. That's funny. It sounds archaic when you say it that way, but
It really does.
yeah. So what made you really want to get into real estate?
I've always kind of had an interest in that, but I was that child that never knew what they wanted to be when they graduated. And
Me too.
so I've done a number of things throughout my life, and I'm
Oh, yeah,
older.
you were in sales.
Yeah.
Well, you're not older.
Yeah.
Age is just a number. But yeah, so some of the stories that you would tell, I think, entertain almost everyone. But I love hearing you're such a bulldog, and you always have been with regard to some of the sales positions you were in.
Well, and that's because I've never actually officially had the training. So I had to work harder, I think, to achieve that and keep it. My parents told me when I graduated that I needed to go to school somewhere, do something.
Just get out of the house.
Yeah, do something. So I chose an easy path. I chose to go to Norfolk, Northeast Tech for something like secretarial. I thought, how could I fail at that?
Administrative or whatever. Yeah, how could I fail at that?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with my having interest in it. I just had to decide on something. And when you took the high school test that said maybe what you're
Oh, yeah.
be most likely to be successful at, mine came back mortician. And
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was
Working with dead
such
people.
a thing. You know,
Yeah.
I never even thought about it at 17.
That's funny.
So we all had a good laugh about that. And as I've aged, I'm thinking, well, maybe I would have been a good fit for that, because I do truly think that I think outside of the box. I try to think about other people's needs and what might make it easier for them. And I think that, I don't know if the word's empathy for some situations. Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think really if you're thinking about it from the perspective of the way the families would be handled in those situations, you would be really good at it.
well,
Yeah.
I didn't see it
But
at
who
that
would laugh
time.
at your jokes?
I probably wouldn't be appropriate in that setting. So
Probably
maybe
not.
that they missed the mark there. But in high school, I was a lot shyer. And so
Oh.
maybe it did appear that possibly the way I answered the
Yeah.
questions might
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah, I think people are really surprised to hear you say that you're an introvert, and you've said that a lot, and nobody sees it. At
I
least
have.
not here, the people that know you.
I know. I probably have spent my whole life pretending to be more outgoing than I really am. And you'd meet my husband and you'd think he'd be the one that would want to stay home at night, but it's the reverse. He has always been very confident, loves socializing and stuff. And even at my age, I still am nervous to walk into a room, whatever. I think the pivotal point for me to become more of a, I don't want to say pretend, but to make myself go out there and do those things is my dad owned a drive-in. And that was back when they had car hops. And I would come from a high school situation where I wasn't, in my opinion, that popular. I've always battled like being overweight or whatever. And so socially, I struggled for a place to belong.
Right.
But my dad had this business, and he expected me, or I wanted to be work there. And so
Right.
I had to be a car hop.
Yeah.
And that required you to go up the same carload full of kids that maybe you just had a bad experience with at school, and put on a smile and say hello first. And my dad said, if you do that, the rest will probably be a lot easier for you. And he was right. Yeah. I mean, there was a couple situations, but where that maybe wasn't. I should have just sent another person that direction, but I fumbled through it. And so from that experience and from my dad's wisdom, I actually have moved forward through my life just facing things head on, putting a smile on my face, be the first to speak, and it usually does work out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And you were really close with your dad, right?
Very close.
Yep.
Yeah, he died about 5 years ago.
I was going to say, you got your real estate license. Was it the year after he passed?
Maybe a year and a half. But I had been working on taking online classes for about 2 years prior to that. I wouldn't recommend it for someone with my attention span.
Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, and if I had an opportunity to do it over again and the situation would have been such, I probably would have just took that week to go to Omaha or Lincoln and take that course, get it out of the way, and then do the second one.
That's a good note. Yeah, you can do it either way. A lot of people, it does depend on your learning ability. I mean, if you learn it easier online or in person, you know, like you said, your attention span. So, but you can do it either way.
I'm a more hands-on person.
Yeah.
I did fumble through the online, but then if any of my past teachers would have seen me actually studying for this real estate test, they would have been totally shocked and proud of me, because I don't think I ever put that much effort in school or college. You know, the 1-year technical school that I went to. So the hardest I probably have worked would be to get this license.
Yeah. Well, I was super proud of you, Dar, and I know you passed the first time, which is something that a lot of people don't do, less than 50%. So you passed the first time. And I don't even know if you told me you were going to take it, because you said you wanted to go alone and no distractions, nobody with you, where everybody else is like, please take me, come with me, help me study on the way there. And so I know you were going with Jessica tomorrow to take her test, right?
I am, just for that moral support, you know, regardless of if you pass the first time or the fifth time. I mean, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of nerve, and it's probably harder for those people who were nervous to go in the first time and didn't pass. Yeah. And I give a lot of credit to those people who will go ahead and stand back up, study again, keep paying to go back, and they eventually get it, and they'll be good agents, and they actually will be the ones that probably know the rules and the laws a little bit better, because you get random questions and gives you an opportunity to learn from those
I don't
mistakes.
think anybody could make it in this business unless they're willing to get back up time and time again, Dar. And
I
you
totally
probably could say that. I mean, you know, it's like in Steve Sims' book, you know, and I think you followed him here recently too. I know there's a quote in there where he says, you don't drown unless you stay in the water once you fall. You know, that those are the people that don't make it. You just got to get back out again and keep trying. And I think that's something that, I mean, I've done my whole life. I know you've done your whole life. And I think your dad would be incredibly proud to see where you're at now. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I wished he would have been around to actually see me get my license.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he does.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he does too. So that's awesome. And I think everybody here says the same thing. You know, everybody is so willing to help, you especially. You're kind of like that dorm mom, I always call you, you know, or the one who's watching over to make sure that everybody's protected and doing what they're supposed to be doing, and always the first to help.
In me.
It must be. It must be. I hope we're a little more exhilarating than people who are, you know, gone from this world. But anyway, so yeah, I think I wanted to bring you in and just kind of give an introduction. Most everybody knows you because you've been in Columbus a long time anyway, and have a great group of, you know, friends and family and supporters. But none of us here could do what we do independently. You know, we're all a great big team. We're all very collaborative. And we certainly could not do it without you and your support and hearing the laughter that comes from your office, you know, most of the time. And so I just wanted to give everybody a chance to get to know you a little bit better, and we'll have you on a regular basis. And we have some more guests coming in, but
I appreciate
most definitely.
that.
Yeah. So what is your favorite part about real estate, or about working here, or about serving the clients? Or
I did want to tell you though why I decided even at 57 to get my license.
Why exactly did you decide to do it, and what do you love about what you do?
I wanted to show or set an example for my own family, my own children, or anybody else, that it's not too late to keep learning, keep changing. Just because you've always done something doesn't mean that that's what you have to continue to do. And
over just gave me chills, Dar. I love that.
Yeah, and over my course of the years, like I said, I've always had to work harder because I didn't have the official training. Not because I wasn't offered it, I just didn't take it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I stepped into a position as a purchasing agent because the gentleman that was doing it hardly ever showed up, and I was his secretary. So I took over the buying and made myself a career doing that. Actually worked for First Data Resources in Omaha doing the same thing. And then, you know, I did marketing for a physical therapy place here in town, and we all know I have no experience, but I was quite successful actually at that too. And then I wanted my children to to know that just because you might have went to school for something, that doesn't mean you have to do that for the rest of your life.
Right.
And if,
you can reinvent yourself
Yeah.
constantly. You've done a great job at that. Yeah. I think the worst frame of mind someone could be in is saying, and it's all too common, is saying it's always been done that way. This is the way we've always done it. You know, I just think that that is the wrong mindset, especially when you're wanting to reinvent yourself, like you said, all the time, and really show others the potential and the possibilities. So, yeah.
And you asked me why I like doing this, or, I love working with people, even though I consider myself shy. I still love helping people make some of these decisions and lead them or advise them on, what my thoughts would be on the properties that they've picked or whatever. So
being that advisor, being there to help them at the center of the transaction, and
Right.
which direction to go as far as financing and as far as inspections and your
there's
experience.
a lot of things that happen in the background
lot.
that people are not aware of.
Exactly. Yeah. You're definitely a good source for anyone with any questions. I know I've got raving reviews from just about everyone that I've ever talked to that said, hey, how'd Darlene do? What's going on? And they're like, oh, we love her. Absolutely love her. So I think you're the first one to deliver groceries and wine and whatever else, afterwards, and welcome to the community. So that's really important. So
I enjoy it. I do.
Good. Awesome. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I just appreciate you taking me on and letting me be mentored by you. So I couldn't ask for any better. It's like, what's
I
the
wasn't going to
saying?
go there without you,
With
Dar,
the top
so.
5 people in your life.
That's right.
And
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway.
That definitely is a good way, a good indication of who you are and who you'll become, those top 5 that are around you. So it does make a big difference. And I'm hoping through this next several months with some of the people that we have coming on board, I'll have even more time to be that mentor to some of the people who've really wanted it over the last couple of years, because I think I've been stretched beyond my limits even, which are pretty big limits. But so.
I would agree.
All right. Well, thanks, Dar, for your time today.
Thank you.